It's a while since I've seen Ghislaine Maxwell, but she has developed an extraordinary likeness to Mike Myers, to Austin Powers in the short time actually, that she has been in an open, soft prison in the United States, at least for the latter part of the sentence that she has served so far. It begs the question, why would they put up a fake Ghislaine Maxwell, albeit with a long prison vantage point? The camera was seldom up close, but all it needed was some wag to blow the picture up. And I don't just mean the extra pounds that the pastor in the prison has, of course, put on Ghislaine Maxwell, a famously thin-faced woman. But no amount of pasta can change the length and the shape of your nose, and no amount of pasta can alter the distance between your eyes. And I've got to tell you, as someone who knows Ghislaine Maxwell, that wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell in that hearing. It was an entirely different woman. Which begs the question, was the corpse that was carted out of the penitentiary in New York a different Jeffrey Epstein? And if so, are the couple now reunited somewhere, I don't know, on an island perhaps? Now, once upon a time, what I'm saying to you now would seem completely unhinged, and some will pretend that it is still unhinged. But the rest of us know that so many conspiracy theories have turned into conspiracy facts that it is highly likely that what I'm saying to you right now is true. And there could only be two reasons for it. One would be that Ghislaine Maxwell, like Jeffrey Epstein before her, has hanged herself with paper towels from the door of her cell. Or that Ghislaine Maxwell is no longer in that prison, and that somebody, some patsy, presumably using her voice, because I would say it was definitely her voice, someone is serving the time for her, which makes the demand for a pardon all the more urgent, because it would mean that an entirely innocent woman was serving time in the United States prison system for crimes for which Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty.
A class of people who are pretty much untouchable, have been pretty much untouchables, and it's not just in the United States, but it's actually international. I don't want to say use the word cabal, right? I tried to use that word the other day in one of my videos. I want to use the word cabal, right? I'm gonna look up the word, what it means. I know it means something that doesn't mean a good thing. But anyway, yeah, so it's now been revealed based on the situation going over there across the pond with the monarchy. You know, one of the monarchs, or was a monarch, before he got himself too involved in this Epstein situation. But they had already, took the steps to put him in his place. That was a sign right there that there was something going on, although there wasn't the exposure that it is today. But yeah, so this is going to change this whole dynamic about how things are, how the classes are looked upon in the United States, especially because the United States is arguably the most powerful country in the world. So you would think, you know, when it comes down to the most powerful country in the world, that the elite, the most sought after high echelon of individuals who want to come to the United States to get at least some sort of protection, right? To do some type of business, go back and forth with certain individuals where they can be viewed as untouchable. So that's where it gets to now. But now they have went a little bit too far because they went ahead and they allowed an individual to be in the office of the highest office of arguably the world, not once but twice, and thought that things were going to be running smoother than ever. And now that has been exposed, and oh, by the way, there is still this uh, one individual who has not. I mean, he is exposed, but it's like I had a program. We have a program called the Kings and Priests, Biblical Agreements and Discourse. You need to tune into that because every now and again we talk about this a president of ours and how him and Epstein can be seen in several photos and even documentation that they were best of friends for at least 10 years, but yet whatever Epstein was doing was not the same thing as the other individual. Donald Trump was never involved in none of that kind of stuff. But at the same time had been all these. I mean, listen, documentation of grabbing them into private parts and doing anything you want to do if you're a star, and on and on and on and on and on. But yet and still, no. And did we forget the 34 felony convictions? But no. This individual would never do anything.
I mentioned the president's response where he told ABC News just a few hours after this happened, she probably had herself sprayed, knowing her. Before you respond, I do want to remind everyone that when President Trump was nearly assassinated, you responded and said, we must condemn acts of violence and pray for the victims, make calmness and decency prevail. And you said it was sad to hear the tragedy that had occurred. What went through your mind when you heard the president's response last night?
Well, the difference between the president and I is that I was raised to be a decent human being, and my faith teaches me to have compassion. And he lacks both of those things.
Back in the lab. Now, this whole thing has totally backfired on our president. I mean, it went from a hoax to now everything and everybody is questioning everything and everybody. They can't make this stuff up. Meanwhile, our president is using this stellar poker face. And I mean poker face. But let's see what this man, Mr. Stephen, had to say.
This may be the most creepy painting I've ever seen, and I think I may have figured out who it is. But first, we need to break down the image itself. On the table, we can clearly see Chase J.P. Morgan on the cash. We have a man with flowers behind his back, in his boxers, covering his mouth with what appears to be a shush sign. And disturbingly, to his left is a mirror with a reflection of Snow White. Now, if you go to the DOJ website and you type in Snow White, 60 results will pop up. In one of those files is a message from Jess Staley stating, "That was fun, say hi to Snow White." And Jeffrey responds, "What character would you like next?" Now, I found an even more disturbing email that was sent on the exact same date as the prior email. It was a message from someone who's redacted, which is very odd to me, to Jeffrey. It reads, "The Snow White was effed twice as soon as she put on her costume." Now, if that wasn't disturbing enough, with a little bit of research, you would see that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the 1937 version, Snow White was only 14 years old. Now, referring back to the emails, who is Jess Staley? Well, Jess Staley worked at JP Morgan from 1990 to 2013. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but take a look at this. With a quick Google search, you can see a very strange image. Jess Staley with his finger over his mouth. Well, that looks oddly similar to the painting that we were just looking at. If you put these two images side by side, you can't tell me that is not the same person.
It's a while since I've seen Ghislaine Maxwell, but she has developed an extraordinary likeness to Mike Myers, to Austin Powers in the short time actually, that she has been in an open, soft prison in the United States, at least for the latter part of the sentence that she has served so far. It begs the question, why would they put up a fake Ghislaine Maxwell, albeit with a long prison vantage point? The camera was seldom up close, but all it needed was some wag to blow the picture up. And I don't just mean the extra pounds that the pastor in the prison has, of course, put on Ghislaine Maxwell, a famously thin-faced woman. But no amount of pasta can change the length and the shape of your nose. And no amount of pasta can alter the distance between your eyes. And I've got to tell you, as someone who knows Ghislaine Maxwell, that wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell in that hearing. It was an entirely different woman. Which begs the question, was the corpse that was carted out of the penitentiary in New York a different Jeffrey Epstein? And if so, are the couple now reunited somewhere, I don't know, on an island, perhaps? Now, once upon a time, what I'm saying to you now would seem completely unhinged, and some will pretend that it is still unhinged. But the rest of us know that so many conspiracy theories have turned into conspiracy facts that it is highly likely that what I'm saying to you right now is true. And there could only be two reasons for it. One would be that Ghislaine Maxwell, like Jeffrey Epstein before her, has hanged herself with paper towels from the door of her cell. Or that Ghislaine Maxwell is no longer in that prison, and that somebody, some patsy, presumably using her voice, because I would say it was definitely her voice, someone is serving the time for her, which makes the demand for a pardon all the more urgent, because it would mean that an entirely innocent woman was serving time in the United States prison system for crimes for which Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty.
I believe someone just found Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine? Do I know you? You know Ghislaine?
No, sorry.
No? I used to order Hello Pizza off of her.
Oh, really?
She always delivered, yeah.
Now I'll give her some credit. She did a good job at hiding her British accent, but you can't hide those chompers or that nose. Look at the dip in the nose, the flare in the nostrils, the damn teeth, the way they sit. How about that upper lip? Come on now. They'll call you a psycho for suggesting that this could be Ghislaine, but then they'll try to sell us this, whatever this is. It's not her. Just notice how her left eye sits slightly lower than her right eye in both of these images. And this is a consistent feature in multiple images. Something fishy is definitely going on, but I'd love to know your opinion in the comments below.
All right, we're going to end this video with the because we came across a lot of things, and basically we already came across all this stuff coming out because Donald Trump called this stuff a hoax. Got everybody investigating what's going on, what's the Epstein files, and the players that are in it. My main man here, Dan Monroe Politics. I love this dude. Well, he's going to be speaking of. He's going to talk about the judicial losses. That Trump has lost 80 to 95%. He always said that, and he's been consistent with that. He lost 80 to 95% of the court cases brought by the Democratic Attorney General and the nonprofits. And then further goes on to say that he's been further going to say that Epstein files are portrayed as a major political liability dragging down Trump. It has played, well, it's playing out. That's not what was simply intended. Intended was to do what it did, which was get Trump in office, and as well as having the GOP take control of the Congress, the Senate, and of course the White House. Okay, and so now he's going to talk about ICE and the immigration policies, and this has been, they've been doing a lot of committees on that. Basically saying that these guys are doing cuckoo crazy stuff as far as what they're doing to Americans, like killing them in the streets of the United States, especially primarily in Minnesota and other places as well. They're probably not getting the publicity that the others got. Not only that, the gerrymandering, etc. Let's go ahead and see what Dan's got to say, because he's he's got
his
the guy.
corner either, especially the lower courts where he's lost anywhere between 80% with the attorney generals who are Democrats, and the nonprofits as high as 95%, like Democracy Forward. Yay! But here's the thing that we also need to grasp onto with him being a walking corpse. Every time he opens his mouth, it is disaster. That Obama monkey picture hurt him bad among his own base, among his own fellow Republicans, as they got the midterms coming and they're about to get their ass whipped. This is not looking good. I don't think that SAVE Act is going to pass. It didn't pass last year. It won't pass this year because it's going to hurt voters on both sides. It's just like gerrymandering. Everybody's like, gerrymandering. And you're like, no, you don't want to do that. But he kept going with this gerrymandering. And even the Supreme Court ruled against him that California can gerrymander. So now you don't have the Supreme Court on your side. You don't have anybody on your side. Either we're going to stalemate in the gerrymandering or you're going to lose. And I think he's going to lose. Now we got some big cases in the courts that he could win. The Voters' Right Act, naturalized citizenship. We could have things that rule against us. But understand, right now, as of now, in the Trumpism of 24 hours, and remember, that's all he is, a 24-hour news cycle through Truth Social, through whatever. He's basically always bringing some drama every day. When he lost the Supreme Court ruling this last Friday, yesterday, over the tariffs, what did he do? I'm going to do 10% global tariffs. And now I'm going to do 15% global tariffs, which, according to lawyers, is unconstitutional. This is going to be bad across the board. He keeps coming up with this bullshit, and he's dragging down the party. And all of you who are waiting for him to die, understand he's already dying. Put in the comments, bleed out, because that's what we're really talking about. Him bleeding out, and of course, you doing better for yourself. That brings me to another thing. I got a live coming tonight at 7 p.m. Central. If you can't see it, it'll be in the replay under my new, not my new group, my group that's been out since April of last year, my Clarity group, and right now, that group is free. It's for the first time free for life. You better get in there. Click the link in my description and on my homepage. Here's what I want you to understand about this, is that because I can't say everything I want to say in YouTube, they keep blocking stuff. They gave Trump $25 million, remember? They're capitulating. Here's the thing I want you to understand right now, though. The biggest thing that I'm talking about in my group tonight, that I'll talk to you a little bit here, is the fact that what this guy is really doing is destroying other people's chances for the party. In Trump's mindset, it's all about a nihilistic thought of, it's me, and without me, GOP dies. He's going to crash and burn J.D. Vance. That's why I'm hoping he gets removed or kicked out of office so he can burn J.D. Vance to pieces. So, because he's that guy, he's going to put him in the wood chipper. He's going to fight him, okay? Here's the other thing I want him to do. I want him to burn down the GOP, the cross-board legislation, the legislators, excuse me. Because the more he burns them down, the better it becomes for us. See, all we got to do is some simple things. Keep bringing up Epstein. Do not let the Epstein subject die. It is his kryptonite. Is wearing him down and is kicking his ass. Then it will continue to wear down the whole administration. The fact that they covered up this shit and broke the law is absolutely the thing that's going to take them out. Here's the other thing I want you to understand, very importantly, that what we have to do beyond that is show up in November, and every 2 years after that, for the rest of your fucking life, you will never see these motherfuckers do this shit again. They won't get a president for GOP back in 20 years. If you do that. No, seriously, like your life depends on it. Because guess what? It does. Don't believe me? Ask the families of Renee Nicole Good and of Alex Preddy. Does it matter? Or the victims who are in the detention centers, or the families whose victims were in detention centers and lost their lives, or who have their kids in detention centers. You vote like your life depends on it, not because it's right now, not because Trump is here, but because you want to prevent this shit from ever happening. As an African American, I know you get tired of probably hearing this, but yeah, those who didn't vote, sat on the sidelines, or voted for Trump, should have voted for the black Indian woman married to the Jew. Because this is some bullshit. It wasn't the economy, it was you and your bag about who she is. My point is this: it's time for y'all to step up. It's time for y'all to come in and fight and show up and keep enforcing and sharing the videos of Epstein to get the pressure out of this guy. The more we get pressure on him, the better. Here's the other thing to understand. There's another factor that makes him a walking dead man, okay? We get into this midterm, he's going to be the biggest lame duck ever. He's going to get his butt kicked, and he's going to be very upset about it. He's going to, I don't believe this has happened to me. Here's the thing. Understand this. The more he talks, the worse it gets. Put in the comments, bleed out, bleed out. It's going to happen. This guy is walking disaster time. Here's the other thing you got to understand. It's not going to go away. I know you hate to hear this, but it's the truth. Even with him gone, whether he's dead or kicked out or whatever, we got J.D. Vance to fight. The truth is, we got less than 35 months to deal with this until we get to January of 2029 and have a new president. And no, he ain't still in the elections. I'm sorry. I'm just so tired of hearing that. I want you to understand that the power of our civil elections board, as well as the 20 plus attorney generals and governors in blue states, as well as the red states who defended us in 2020, the election board members, they expect this bullshit to go down. They expect him to steal it. You understand? This ain't like, oh, he's gonna steal it and nobody knows. Everybody knows. It's like a hurricane. You know it's coming days, weeks in advance. I'm trying to tell y'all, we know it's coming and it's already prepared, and they're going to try the same Republican things they do to block the vote. But the reality is the more you're yanking people out in the streets and shooting them in the face or the back of the head, the more that you're saying, oh, there is no Epstein files, there's nothing. The more he says stupid shit like, I'm exonerated from the Epstein files. Do you realize how fucking crazy that is? This man said he'll release UFOs before and he's doing that before he'd ever release those files. And that's going to stay on his ass. Let me give you a history lesson on that, because most people don't know the history, operation laws, and economics of our government. Here's the whole thing, okay? History, operation laws, economics of our government. Nixon took 26 months to get him out since Watergate. We're on the 14th month. It's just a matter of time. I know you want things to happen now, but you don't. You don't. Instant ain't the answer to everything. This has to slow cook so we can burn this motherfucker out in his whole damn party. Fuck the motherfuckers forever. We want to get his cabinet, like Bondi, like Nome, like Cash Patel. We want them out and their second in commands. He doesn't have a deep roster of people who are this bold and gutsy. They get a little more timid after the first two levels. And the reason that's important is that we just want them out of office. We cannot persecute them or prosecute them or indict them or anything until 2029. Can he be kicked out of office? Absolutely. And the states could come after him. I think, well, if we can get him out of office ASAP over Epstein, that the state of New York through Letitia James will go after his ass. And J.D. Vance can't pardon that, because you can't pardon a state convicted federal, a federal president can't do that. So there's a chance to get him. But the reality is, while we're getting him, let's say that even happens, and he goes to jail, we still got funky ass J.D. Vance and the Heritage Foundation to deal with. We still got shit we're dealing with, y'all. I'm trying to get y'all to understand the severity of what we're dealing with. It really is 35 months. And I know, suck it up. Ask yourself this, and this is what I'm saying tonight in my live in my private group. That's why you want to get in while you can. Link in the description and on the homepage. I'm asking people, listen, what do you want out of 35, after 35 months? And I don't mean with the administration. I don't mean with our democracy. Look in the mirror. What do you want with you? Here's a chance to rethink your life. See, you contribute to democracy, but you're not. But the biggest thing you control is you. How do you want to come out of this 35? I ain't talking about the administration. Too many people say, I want to see Trump this. I want to see blah, blah. I want a justice to our democracy. Listen here. We contribute. I contribute to democracy, and so do you. As a people group, we do things, but the group may not go right if people aren't showing up to vote every 2 years. The group may not go right because of a variety of factors, but because we don't control that personally. But we do control ourselves. If you're not focusing on a better you in 35 months and you're just waiting on Trump to go away, you're waiting for J.D. Vance to go away, you're waiting for this administration to be over. Well, guess what? We still got more work to do. Whoever gets in that office got to come in and not only pursue these people with litigation and so on and yada, 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 but we also and rebuild everything. But they got to fix shit probably for the next 4 years of their administration. While people cry, whine, and bitch like they treated Obama for not fixing shit soon enough. Obama saved our economy and our country. Hands down. We were going in the toilet. Everything was going under. That man intellectually saved us. And they call him a failing president? Yeah, he failed to let the country go under. They attacked that man like a fucking dog while he was saving your motherfucking asses because those Republicans fucked it up. And how does America come back and thank us? They go out and vote another fucking Republican who's even worse than Bush. Listen, you don't control shit. It'd be nice if as a group we would be good, but I think to quote Cicero from the Roman Cicero, who said, people are smart, but groups are stupid. We have too much group stupidity. Or to quote George Bernard Shaw, he says, don't believe in the collective wisdom of individual ignorance. Okay? The collective wisdom of individual ignorance. What I want you to understand in this whole ideology is that, yeah, he's a walking corpse. Absolutely, no doubt. But you got to ask yourself this. You, what do you want out of this in the 35 months? And if you say, well, I want Trump, again, I want to check your ass on that. Fuck Trump, fuck the administration, fuck the Democrats, fuck the Republicans. What does the person watching this video want? So every time I'm doing a new video, I'm like, okay, it's worse than it was before, y'all. It's disaster time for this guy. And what we have to begin, all as a group, all of us, is pull it together and understand where we need to mentally, spiritually, physically be in this whole thing. How do we come out of this our best person? Democracy, it's going to work itself out. Karma's a bitch. And if you just show up and vote, contribute like you should, share videos on Epstein to push the fact, push the process, you are helping. You might want to go out and protest. Okay, great. But understand this. The biggest things that you need to take care of have nothing to do with democracy and has everything to do with who you are and who you see in the mirror. He's a walking corpse. Don't be the corpse with him. Politically, he's dying. Physically, he's dying. I mean, the reality is he's going through it. And he knows it. And he's afraid. And he's going to be throwing everybody under the bus. But in the meanwhile, while he's doing all this crazy, batshit, crazy shit, what can you do for you? How can you become your best person? How can you live a better life while contributing to democracy? I love you all. Thank you for your support. If you subscribe to me, if I've earned your subscription, thank you. Understand this. We're going through it, but we're going to make it through it. Our country didn't come 250 years to fall to a wannabe dictator, fascist, autocrat. It was designed to give him a hard time, and it has been giving him a hard time. The formation of our government and our Constitution has limited him greatly, and that's why the judicial branch has been spanking his ass left and right. That's why the legislative branch have been looking and working against him. It's not what it was a year ago. It's even worse for him, not for us.
All right, that's what I got today, folks. Once again, it's a Ted King with another